everyone, welcome to the Lands of Ants. Have you had foods that really don't agree with you? Do you wonder why your stomach gurgles and you fart a lot? It might be what you're eating and how it's affecting you. I just started this autoimmune eating plan about 5 weeks ago, and I've realized that a lot of things that I eat, my body don't like. It's trying to tell me that it don't like it, but I'm not listening. I have some great updates on how it's going. I'm going to tell you about my latest blood work results at the end of this, and I'm going to talk about what it is, what it's been doing for me, why I went on it, eating plan in general, what you can eat, what you can't eat, how it works, all of that good stuff. And I've been noticing that I have always had these rash on my arms, and after this eating plan, it's gone away. My skin has cleared up. I have lost about 6 pounds. So let's start with, what is it? It's an eating plan that's designed to help heal your gut and lower inflammation in your body. So I've been on a health journey for the last 2.5 years, and I've gotten pretty healthy. Even before I started doing this, I lost about 22 pounds, my heaviest weight, to about 2 months ago. I had lost 22 pounds already. I have blood work done just about every 3 to 4 months. There is a family history of diabetes, heart disease, and just a lot of genetics working against me. So for the last couple of years, I've been pretty diligent about going and getting my blood work done, about trying to get my cholesterol in check. I am on cholesterol medication, metformin, which is for my sugars. When I lost the original 20-ish pounds or so, I was able to have a lower dosage of metformin, but I will probably always be on some form of cholesterol medication. My cholesterol numbers, just as they were always high. And so to try to make sure that I keep an eye on that and monitor that, I've always been on cholesterol meds. A couple of months ago, when I went to my cardiologist, he took a look at my blood work and he said that my liver enzymes were high. He wanted me to go to a gastroenterologist. I have a ton of doctors, a slew of doctors. I have a cardiologist, I have an endocrinologist, I have my primary care. And so he wanted another opinion on my liver enzymes. And so he sent me to this next doctor that my 5th or 7th or whatever number doctor. And so after I had an ultrasound done on my liver, after I did a round of blood work, gastroenterologist said that my liver enzymes were elevated because of autoimmune hepatitis, where your liver is basically attacking itself. And so he put me on prednisone, 20 milligrams a day, and I started with that. And so when I started with prednisone, it's like being hangry without being hangry. You just keep eating. So I kept eating. I was on prednisone for 4 days. I was supposed to be on it for a month, and after about 4 days, the way that it affected me and my body was rough. And I thought to myself, there's no way that I can be on this medication, another medication, for the rest of my life. And so I started researching other options, better ways to control your health through food. I got a book called The Autoimmune Solution by Amy Myers, hold it this way, that I read basically cover to cover. And I said, this book is right on target for what I was going through. The doctor had said that I had autoimmune hepatitis. I looked up in Amazon for a book resource, autoimmune diets, and that was what I searched in it. And when this book came up, I got it, and it sounded like a great alternative to try, because I knew that after being on prednisone for 4 days that I couldn't keep that and be sustainable with that. Not with the way that it made my head feel, not with the way it made me want to eat like all the time. I would just be shoving food in my face. I was eating, I think, I don't know, chips or something, and I could not stop eating the bag. Even though I wanted to, I knew that it was a good idea to stop, and like I just could not stop eating it. And it was across 4 or 5 sittings, right? So I stopped eating the bag, and then I went and did something else, and then I went back to the kitchen like, I need to eat something. But it wasn't from a hanger perspective where once I ate something, it went away. It was, I ate something, left the kitchen, had this crazy like need to eat again. And so there's like this just like compulsion of eating more. And so that I would go back to the kitchen and I would have more of these chips. And so I went through the entire bag in one day. In the 4 days that I was on prednisone, I think I gained a couple of pounds just in that amount of time. And I knew that if I kept on prednisone, that I would gain weight. And one of the side effects is weight gain. And I would lose all the progress that I've gained in the last couple of years to this other medication that was affecting me poorly. So I started on the autoimmune solution, and it's a pretty restrictive eating plan. The closest diet to this is the paleo diet, where you mostly have meats and vegetables, and you don't have dairy. Paleo diet is meats, fish, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. The autoimmune eating plan is even more restrictive than that. There is no nuts, seeds, carbs, or refined sugar. So not only are you cutting out the bread and the eggs and dairy, you're also cutting out nuts and seeds. Can't have that. I started this autoimmune eating plan, and I gave myself 2 weeks to prepare for it, to say, like, here are all the things I can't eat. And one of the things that it restricts is both nightshade vegetables, so no white potatoes, no eggplant, no peppers, no bell peppers, and no tomatoes. That was a hard one for me, was to not have tomatoes in a salad. This autoimmune eating plan, the basis of this is that with the foods that you are allowed to eat, it helps you to heal your body. It helps your gut heal itself within the course of anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. And then it also helps your body to take more nutrients from the food that you're eating. The things that don't affect your body well are virtually eliminated, right? So all the carbs that have gluten, that isn't really good for you. All of the nightshade vegetables. The idea of this is that by taking all these foods out of your diet, your gut will help to repair itself. And then it will also use the supplements that you're taking. So I took 3 supplements in the course of the month that I've been on this. I took a probiotic. There's 100 billion active cultures in one pill. I took L-glutamine and let me grab acetyl glutathione. I have no idea what that means. And then I also have L-glutamine, which is supposed to help your gut sort of restore and recover. And I took this. So I took 1 of these pills, 2 of these pills, a probiotic. They're based on Amy Meyer's work as well, because this brand is Amy Meyer's MD, which is all the products that I have are from hers, which I got from Amazon. I'm showing it the wrong way. And the experience has been pretty hard. I started this plan just as the kids were being homeschooled. They were doing their distance learning. And so I had all of these different things collide at the same time. I started a new eating plan. The kids were home with me. I was trying to work from home full time. A lot of chaos. It took me a couple of weeks to really figure out how to eat, what to eat, and to get that balance in. In the morning, I have a smoothie. It has frozen strawberries, coconut milk, and maybe some other blueberries or other fruits. And that's my 7 a.m. morning ritual. I will have an early lunch at like 11:30. I will have a salad back at 3 o'clock. It's usually carrots or some sort of leftovers from the night before, and then dinner I will make. And dinner is easy because it is a lean meat, so a lean protein. So it's either chicken, it's fish, it's pork, beef, whatever. It's just something that I quickly either grill or put in the oven or the toaster oven, and then I'll have some roasted vegetables of some sort. I've gotten into this cadence where I have these same foods just about every day, and I mix it up. Sometimes I will make things for the kids that I can't eat. And so they will have fries, or they will have potatoes, or they will have pasta. And so I don't eat any of that. I don't have the ice cream that they're having. Although I have more recently, because I miss ice cream and I miss some of the muffins and I miss those foods, I've started experimenting with coconut flour, arrowroot flour, tapioca flour, and all these other flours, cassava flour, that I can eat. And so I have a few recipes, and I will have more recipes. So if there's any sort of baked good that you're interested in getting a recipe for that is AIP compliant or paleo compliant, let me know in the comments, and I will take a look at those and work on those next. Right now, I am working on a banana muffin recipe. My first one did not go well. I put in way too much applesauce and it was way too soggy, didn't rise. It was like apple goo. It was really gross, but I ate a couple of them because, one, I had to try it, and two, because I was kind of hungry and I really wanted it to be delicious, and it wasn't. So I am trying to work in different ways to include the foods that I love. I've made a coconut ice cream recipe from coconut cream that is really good. And I've learned that I love coconut sugar. It is delicious. It smells good. It tastes good. It has all sorts of vitamins and minerals. It has magnesium, which I know some people take as a supplement. It has this like interesting coffee-like taste, or at least that's what it tastes like when I put it in ice cream. So I will make coconut ice cream with this coconut sugar. I feel like it's just trying to put the coconut back together in all the different pieces. I think I would eat prior to this, even if it wasn't dairy-free. But it's so good. And I add coconut flakes on top instead of like peanuts, and that makes it more amazing. I love it. Now I am working on a banana muffin recipe that is dairy-free, grain-free, sugar-free, and hopefully it can be delicious still. If you're interested in getting more AIP information, put comments on the bottom. If you're interested in getting more AIP recipes that are delicious, also subscribe and hit that like button and that notification bell so that you can get them straight to you when they come out. I am going to be on this autoimmune eating plan probably for the rest of my life. So I'm going to find ways to make sure that there are delicious things that I can eat, because I am not okay with not ever having another baked good ever again. Like, I used to love banana nut muffins, and I can't have them now, and I'm okay with not being able to have them because it messes up my system. It messes it up badly over the course of years. Dairy is one of the things that is where I cannot do dairy or yogurt. It messes me up. So I am going to find recipes and find ways to include all these delicious things in a way that my body can work with and take. So if you're interested and you are on AIP or looking to join the AIP sort of lifestyle, or even just want a good recipe, let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you had any experience with this. So after I did the 4 weeks of strict elimination diet, so none of those foods for 4 weeks, I started to introduce foods back into my diet. And one of the things that I was missing the most was eggs. I missed having eggs during breakfast. I missed having scrambled eggs and over easy eggs and all sorts of, soft-boiled eggs. It's like that guy from Forrest Gump with the shrimp. Like, I can name all the ways that I missed eggs that I could not have. And so I went and did the absolute wrong thing when I started eating eggs. You're supposed to reintroduce slowly. Take a bite, see how you feel 15 minutes later. If you feel fine, have 2 bites and then test and see how you feel in 30 minutes. And just increase the amount that you have and reintroduce kind of, in an upswing. I didn't do any of that. I took 3 eggs full on. I went soft-boiled eggs, 3 eggs and ham. And then 20 minutes later, I felt like crap. I was like, oh, my body really does not like this. And I should have known that. I took an Everlywell food sensitivity test. It tests 100 plus different foods, and it lets you know on the app and in the website what your results are. It's a quick test where you prick your finger, you give maybe 3, 4, 5 drops of blood on this information card. You mail the information card back in, and then you get your results online, usually within a week. So when I saw this, I got my results back. I saw that eggs and egg whites, they're separate items. Both of them were high. I scored high on dairy and yogurt. They were off the charts sensitive to. There are other things that I didn't realize I was sensitive to. But I know the effects of it because those foods make me gassy. It makes my stomach go blah, 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 blah. And I never really knew why, or I never put the two together of like, these are the certain foods that make my body respond this way. And I also had a lot of the foods that I was sensitive to at the same time. So I would have, I'm sensitive mildly to almonds. I'm sensitive to soy. I am sensitive to eggs. I am sensitive to dairy. So in a day, I would have like soybeans, or soy milk. I would have almonds. I would have that as a snack. I would have ice cream. So in one day, I was doing all these different things to my body, and day over day, I would keep eating these foods and my stomach would hurt. I would be like, my stomach is just not agreeing with me. I would have to sit down, and I never knew why. I just thought like, oh, it's gurgling. That's just how your stomach reacts to things. I didn't put the connection together that these foods are not liked by my body. And the more that I eat it, the more my body responds, and it causes leaky gut, where your gut does not properly take in the nutrients to your food. And so I didn't know any of that. I just kept eating what I wanted to eat. And when I started on my health journey 2 years ago, I was cutting carbs out mostly because of the sugars. I was diabetic at that point, and I was like, I don't want to be on meds and I want to be healthier. So I started cutting carbs out for the most part of my diet, and I've lost weight. My numbers got better. And so I was on a really great upswing with not having carbs. And so my body doesn't digest carbs well. I'm not allergic to gluten, but when I do have foods that have gluten in them, my body does not react well. It makes me bloated, it makes me gassy, or every time I would have raw tomatoes, and a lot of them, I would get a rash. But because sensitivities don't show up from, let's say, a few hours to 72 hours, I never connected that the rash that I got was from tomatoes. It's not like an allergy where your body responds right away. And so that generally have an idea of what that food was and what's causing the allergic reaction. Food sensitivities happen 2 days after, 3 days after it goes through your system. And so didn't realize that I had that aversion to tomatoes. I knew that my body didn't do eggplant well, so I don't eat a lot of it, but I still ate it. I didn't think much of it. I'm just like, I won't eat a lot of it. Where this elimination diet shows me how much better my body can feel when I don't have any of it for a prolonged period of time. And so beans are part of that. There are no green beans, there are no peas, there are no red beans. So I love having red bean soup, and I can't have that. It makes my stomach go, and then it just throws me off. But for a couple of days afterwards, and it's just strange because I just thought some days that, you don't feel so good. I didn't think of the reason of the foods I ate 2 days ago or 3 days ago to be the cause of it.
So now that I've shared a little bit about the experience and the observations on the autoimmune eating plan, I wanted to share what my numbers look like for my lab work when I was on prednisone. So these results are from when I was on prednisone for 4 days, and this is before I stopped taking it. So the cholesterol numbers are about the same as I've been with my cholesterol medications. The total is around 150, and then the other two numbers, 117, 95, and 37. When you take a look at the numbers on the bottom for the liver enzymes, the bottom ALT number is at 44. That was better than when I was not on prednisone at all. I compared it to a previous lab result, and it was at 50. The cholesterol total and the other numbers were about the same as what we're looking at here. So it's a good marker of what prednisone is doing. It lowered my ALT to 44 instead of 50. Now, this is my updated lab results from when I went and did the autoimmune eating plan for about 5 weeks. The numbers in blue are the ones that were from the previous screen that you just saw, so that we can have a comparison to the ones of after the autoimmune eating plan. So my cholesterol numbers are the best they've ever been. It went down from the total cholesterol at 124. The good cholesterol is at 40. It's never hit 40 before. Not in the last 2 years, at least, that I've been tracking my blood work has my good cholesterol been that high. Also, for the LDL, it's at a 69, and that's without adding any new cholesterol medication. This is the sole change of going onto this autoimmune eating plan. So the cholesterol numbers have improved since I've done this eating plan without having any additional cholesterol medication. I think that's pretty good. The bottom of this shows the liver enzymes that I've been looking at from the blood work. It's at a 38 in this latest one, and is prior to that was a 44 when I was on prednisone. The highest that enzyme has been is a 50. So I know there is some variation and fluctuations on this liver enzyme, so it's not necessarily only from the eating plan itself, but I think there is potentially a trend here that this liver enzyme is lessening and there is some positive improvement in it. Not sure if that's something that will continue, but in my next set of labs in maybe a month or two, I will share those results as well.
Lots of learning in this last few weeks of the autoimmune eating plan. If you are interested in the Everlywell food sensitivity test, I will put the info on the bottom. I also have a referral code that will get you either 15 or 20% off. So you are welcome to that. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Do it now. Leave me a comment, say hello. And if you have folks that are wondering about the eating plan, or if you yourself are wondering about the plan, feel free to ask me any questions in the comments.